And checking out today is the Chaos Theory trailer, the event that's coming up. So it's going to be starting, I believe, March 9th to March 23rd. But they're going to, the really interesting thing is it's going to be evolving and changing. But we're going to go into that as we jump into it. There's a new item slot, new inventory slot, new item getting added. But more importantly, my favourite legend, Caustic, is getting some attention. He's had his heirloom and stuff before, but he's getting a cool skin, and he's finally having his Town Takeover. So you can see some of the skins here on kind of a green screen. Let me show some of the backgrounds. You can see Rampart there, Glober, and Watson. Girl power right there. So if I skip this. So there's not really much news apart from the trailer here. They've got, so it's literally hidden behind me, the little trailer bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag this over and we're going to watch this full screen. And what I'm going to do first, actually, before we do this, because we don't want this audio in the background, so we're just going to mute that for now, so you guys can hear the trailer. So this is the Chaos Theory event. We are going to pause it and break it down in a bit. So this is the new Apex trailer. I'm going to watch it for its entirety.
In the end, the strong will filter out the weak.
Thanks, Clips, for the like. I'll shout out the likes after some recording this for a YouTube clip.
Is measured by suffering.
Look at that.
Nothing like cold steel on a hot day. Rings moving, run, run, run.
Death awaits. This was an inevitable outcome. You believe you don't deserve to die. You overvalue your place in the world.
March 9th. That's pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down now. Going to have a look at the bit more of the details in the trailer. So we've got a it's kind of cowboy boot themed Caustic. This is going to be, I'm trying to work out what skin who this is. It's Gibby skin on the floor. You can tell kind of from his shield, but you can't really see that skin very well. New crypto skin. He looks pretty badass. He's got like dreads as well. That is quite cool. So looking forward to seeing that. Have I got full quality? We have got 1080p loaded. Okay.
The distance between life.
It's pretty cool, his skin. He's got his dreads out.
Death.
And that one, it's kind of like a it's not a sheriff, is it? But
measured by
his little
suffering.
spyglass. So this is taking over water treatment. This could be really interesting. I love water treatment as a drop. Actually, it's been one of my favorite for a while. But they've kind of kept the same shape of it, and they've still got these kind of vats here which were there before, but they've obviously changed kind of the layout, and it's all flat now rather than kind of like dips down into water like water treatment is. So what they're going to call this is caustic treatment, I think it is. So the kind of lore behind it is to stop the fuel leaking into the sea. Caustic has put this, but apparently that's not. He's got more sinister ways. So he's testing on people inside or something. That you'll see. I'll show you in a second. Some characters or some people in the vats, kind of thing. That apparently Caustic's been a bit sadistic and testing on people. But this doesn't look that big there. But when it kind of pans around and you can see it from the other side and also from the event page, we'll break down some of the details and some of the patch notes they're going to be doing. You can see how big it is, but it's going to be real different.
Nothing like cold steel on a...
So Bangalore has her. So Ring Fury is about to stick, but yeah, can we get a nice frame? This is her new heirloom. Bangalore has got a new heirloom. So this, I think that's in the patch notes as well. So we'll break that down in a minute. But it'd be nice to see her with an heirloom. Ring Fury. So
Run.
Heat Shield. So it's a bit like Gibby's shield. It protects the dome, but protects legends from ring damage instead. It does give, so we can see this in the patch notes. We'll break it down a bit further, but it does give increased healing and revive speeds and stuff. And it will last less and less time as the ring damage goes on and stuff. But this, so what's going to happen is flares are going to come up, and it's going to be used in the event. And I believe they might keep this as an item in the actual loot pool if everyone likes it. So we're going to see how it works. I think they've planned it out so it's going to work in the actual main game, but we'll break it down for the event when it gets added. Caustic treatment here. Look at this. You've got this. You've still got the redeploy here. Obviously, they have a fabricator that spawns in. You've got one of the ships that normally spawns loot in, so you're gonna have like looks like 2 helipads kind of things. But you can see how big it is from the back as well. This is going to be a real cool area. Look at the size of that. But like being able to zip up to the top of here, I think, or jump up there with Octane as well from Pathfinder. So here we are, testing on some of the beasts by the looks of it. Some of the prowlers. Limited time cosmetics are getting added, so you can see Gibby's new skin. Ramparts. So this one as well is where you activate it to unlock loot apparently. So you hit that. It starts filling up and then the gas goes everywhere. So it looks like you can still go down the pathways, but down in the main walkways or in the open parts. That's where all the caustic gas is. And I presume it's going to affect everyone apart from caustic. So you can still walk down this pathway here, but you can't walk over in the main area, which is normally open. You can loot on the floor loot there. Cool Wingman skin as well. We just missed there. There's loads of new weapon skins. There's the it's the new Mastiff skin. I believe that's in the patch notes as well. We can see a bit better of a picture. That's a cool Wingman skin. And then I've already got this one, the heirloom. So that's a bit of a different Revenant skin. Look at that. That is super. I don't know, very different. It's cool. It's got the Egyptian kind of theme to it a little bit, I feel.
You believe you don't deserve to die.
But I like that caustic skin.
You
That's a new Watson skin, doing her famous.
Value your place in the world.
That's a bit of lore because apparently he's like a dad to her, I don't know, or if they're like boyfriend and girlfriend. There's a bit of like relationship going on there. It's a bit weird. They haven't really delved into it too much. So I imagine if they're going to release a trailer for Caustic's past, she's going to be involved with it. They're going to do a little lore trailer, maybe linked with this event. That would be great if they do. So that's the trailer and the breakdown kind of for it. But what we're going to do now is have a look at the website and check out. Yes, agree to the terms. Right, so that's the event we just watched. So this is the patch notes to find out. And it's coming to Nintendo Switch finally. Something I'm considering buying, actually. So if anyone has got a Nintendo Switch and does buy it or has any other game suggestions, please let me know in the comments because it'd be great to know your thoughts on what a Nintendo Switch, you know, if it's going to work on Nintendo Switch, if you think you're going to try it on there. It's a free-to-play game at the end of the day, so why not? But this is, you can see it's going to go on March 9th to March 23rd. So next Tuesday, it says 2 weeks. Yeah, I thought it was 2 weeks. Just 2 solid weeks, Tuesday to Tuesday. We'll be telling you about the launch of Apex, the Caustic Town Takeover, the Ring Fury Escalation. So this is all the stuff I'm going to break down. There's no point going over what we're literally just going to go over ourselves. Nintendo Switch launch, you're going to get 30 extra levels. You're going to get double XP as well, and you're going to get this exclusive Pathfinder skin if you get it on Switch. I have it on Xbox and PC, so you don't need it just on one console, one platform. You know, they are going to bring cross progression in, I think, eventually, which will be amazing. So you can kind of merge accounts together to have everything unlocked. To have a Switch, you need to get Mario Kart. Okay, is that online as well? That is the question. I really want to get a Switch. I'm really considering it. Especially, I want to get the console one, not the Lite, so then I can stream some Switch games. I'm going to definitely get Pokemon. We know that, but I wouldn't mind trying out Apex Legends on Switch as well, since it's just come out. So when life gives you lemons, you can count on Caustic to turn it into toxic lemonade. Breathe it in at all new Caustic treatment. A new dominant mousetrap with lots of high quality loot that beckons all legends who seek the glorious cheese. That's cool. So one thing you're going to find out as well, I'm going to tell you just before we read it. Round here, we have lost Mirage Voyage. So apparently, because the fumes look like they're going that way, like away, but apparently the fumes have scared him off. But yeah, you can see kind of the scope of it. It is the same circle. It's still got the little town next to it. So this is going to be a real hot zone, because you've got the town, which has got decent loot there next to it still. It's not been removed. And you've got water treatment, which is even bigger and looks like it's got better loot. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I don't like always just dropping on the hot drop, leaving it to chance for the loot. But, you know, this is going to be quite good to have that early game action. So the new Caustic treatment was constructed to prevent the crash site fuel spill from reaching the ocean, or was it? Forever the scientists, Caustic has set out an experiment that requires test subjects to drain the toxic liquid from the center of the facility. Doing this temporarily grants to 4 gold loot items locked in cages. Players must be quick though, as greed can be deadly. So they're obviously, the gold items are in these kind of vats and you can unlock them, but it's also going to make sludge come up from the bottom. So I don't know if you step in this is damage over time, instant death, or what it's going to be like. I imagine it might just be like the gas, and it's just the gas is going to seep out from it. But that might be where that's also where the creatures look like they were in, kind of containers like this. And also the gold loot is going to be in there, so that's going to be hard. See, everyone wants to go there. You're going to want to land there to get the best loot. So if you happen to notice the Mirage Voyage is missing, you can put the blame on Caustic. The polluted fumes from Caustic treatment really killed the vibe. So Mirage set sail to party elsewhere. No one's spotted it yet, but that party boat tends to show up in the arena when you least expect it. So I imagine it's going to turn that back up at maybe Olympus would be an awesome place just to add it in. There's a few places off the map that you could just put it in, because it's got redeploys to it, so that'd be quite cool. Ring Fury Escalation Takeover, Heat Shields, and the Survival slot. So this is really cool. The Survival slot I'm super excited for, and I suggested this a while ago, and I'm glad they're implementing it now. So you can see this is the big zone around here. This is the main zone around the outside, but you've got this. So they're blaming this on... So Ring Fury is a new Apex playlist takeover that follows regular BR rules, but each round one or more ring flares will appear on the map within the current ring. Ring flares are slowly expanding pockets of the ring within the arena. Maggie sure does know how to start a party. Maggie is the antagonist to Fuse, so she's the one that blew up the map and obviously the start of this season. She was the one that was part of the... I'm trying to think of the name of it. Not the Syndicate. I think it's the Syndicate she's a part of. She's kind of like a leader of. So she's she's trying to destroy the games or be a problem with it. She's trying to get back at Fuse. So those who get caught in the ring flare will take damage equal to the damage dealt in the current round's ring. So you'll be given a short warning. So there'll be a warning, a bit like red zones in PUBG, and it's pretty much going to be a mini zone on the outside zone if you get caught in that, little spots around the map. So it says 1 or more. So what I think of is per ring, I don't know if one will flare up and it will disappear, or once it appears, it's just going to be there forever. It will be cool if it just like literally goes over, for instance, this whole area containment, and it will just take that out of the picture. Like you have to take ring damage to go in there and loot it, even though the ring's not taken that over yet, if that makes sense. However, it says that, but how do you deal with ring flares? 2 ways. First, try not to get caught in them. Failing that, you can drop a new item called the Heat Shield. So the Heat Shield actually takes away from zone damage. So it's pretty much Gibby Shield, but you're protected from ring damage in it, and also flare damage. So you can do that, but also it's not just reducing damage. Heat Shields cast a protective dome, okay, pouring the deadly effects of the ring over the barrier for a short time. So how they've done it as well... 50% speed on healing and 25% speed increase on revives as well. This bonus is only given by heat shields that give...
Fuck you.
Being activated by the ring. Heat shields on standby in the safe zone are conserving energy and don't grant this bonus. But watch out. The heat shield will slowly degrade in power as it's damaged by the ring. So basically, if they implement this item, which I think they will in the main game, they're going to basically the last zones, it will last for a second or two. It literally won't be worth using, or but whereas early zone it will last for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, it will last quite a while. So obviously it's strategic to help get your team back in the fight if the zone takes over. If you had a big fight at the start of the game, it's going to be handy, whereas at the end game you can't just go hide in the zone. But it will help you maybe flank round into the zone and try a different path. It's going to open a lot more play styles up. I do really like the idea of it, and obviously it helps you loot within the ring flare. So if you want to go in and get some loot out of where the ring flare has shown up, and obviously it's you don't want to take damage, you can just chuck that on an area, try and get the loot, and then head back out again. But the thing is, it doesn't take up item space, so it's basically you just carry it all the time. But what I'm more excited about, I don't know if you want to carry one of these, but within a team you're going to want to carry one of these, and maybe one of you are going to carry a respawn beacon. So now you've got the survival slot. So what if you had a bag, especially if you're carrying automatic weapons, you couldn't ever have a slot free for your respawn beacon. I hardly ever had space for it. I'd ask a teammate to carry it if they were carrying shotgun or wingman ammo, so they wouldn't have to carry as many ammo slots, or if I haven't got a big enough bag, it would be an issue. And also I feel like it's very negative to think you're going to need a respawn beacon to carry around and to take up a slot, maybe a grenade slot that you potentially could use to win a fight or to get a kill. So they've got a slot for that now, so you're going to either want to take a heat shield. Depending on where the ring's going, you might want to use that instead, whereas a respawn beacon, if you've already got a teammate down and you're going to want to respawn him somewhere else, you don't have to take up an inventory slot, you can just use it to store there. It would also be good to have ultimate accelerants in this slot. I'm not sure if that's the way it's going to be, or if they're going to add more items going forward for this slot, which will be cool. Other kind of things that they can do. One thing would be, like, instead of a heat shield, maybe the opposite. Maybe one that you can, but it's called a survival slot, so I'm kind of overthinking this. But one that would just cause zone damage in the dome, like you could chuck the dome onto someone, which would be quite cool. But if it's a survival slot, you're going to think it's going to be like a healing platform or like something like that. Obviously you've got the drone and stuff from Lifeline, but it would be cool to have different items to help your team. Obviously with the respawn beacon, with the now helping the zone damage, there'll be other stuff maybe as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they add to that slot. Escalation takeovers. So what they're going to do with takeovers now, because they've started taking over the main game modes, instead of it doing just its own separate LTM, and it gets less and less people play it as the event goes on. By the second week hardly anyone plays it, and if you've got the challenges to do, if you missed the first week, you haven't got as many people playing it, or your team have to all decide to play that mode and they're like, oh, I don't want to play the mode, I want to play normal kind of thing. You haven't got a choice. You either play ranked or you play this. But what the good thing is, the first week or two, you got Ring Fury, which obviously you got the ring flares that come up. They're going to be small. Like, they're going to be small, and there's going to be one of them maybe on the first couple of days. And every few days, it says here. So I'll read it out fully. However, unlike previous, you can replace regular duos and trios. It's going to replace, okay? However, unlike previous takeovers, Ring Fury is an escalation takeover, which means every few days the event, we're going to turn some knobs to crank up the prevalence and timing and size of the ring flares. So the size of the flares will go bigger, the number of them, and the timing as well. So also they might happen earlier on in the game. I don't know if they last longer, because I don't know if they're permanent or not. We're going to have to find that bit out. But by the end of the event, you can expect 5 different stages of escalation. So you might have to get 5 ring flares, or you might get one in every single of the first 5 rings, which will be interesting. So it's going to be super exciting. So as the event goes on, it gets more and more fun to play, and more different to just what the other events are, just the same all the way through the 2 weeks. Escalation improves it and makes it more intense. You can imagine what the implications they could do on other game modes and stuff like that. So looking forward to Escalation and then mixing up, since they've taken over the main game mode. TLDR, I don't know what now. does TLDR stand for? I've gone blank. Anyway, they're adding no fill matchmaking. So what they're going to do is you're going to go solo if you want to. So you can choose to do solo trios or solo duos. If you don't want to rely on teammates and you want to play solo, that's great. I don't know if it's going to change the overall amount of players in the lobby if you take up 3 slots even though you're playing as a solo, or if they'll balance it out and add 3 solos in to counter 1 trio team missing. But basically, if you're playing solo but you want to play in a team, play with some randoms, you know them randoms are probably going to want to play as a team. You do get people that play in trios or play in duos, but they just play for themselves. Well, they can go on their own now, and they don't have to worry about dragging people down, which is good. And for yourself, if you don't want to get dragged down, you don't want to have to deal with randoms, you don't want to have the pressure of having the teammate to revive or to support or to follow or to go the same way as, you can literally no fill. It's a bit like Warzone they've added, and it's been asked for so long. You can just go on your own. So that's really good. So here's one as well. They've just basically highlighted what no fill matchmaking you can work on. Focus on completing certain daily and weekly challenges. So if you don't want to, if I have to play a legend I'm not very good at, I'll go no fill, play solo, and get my daily or weekly challenges done. You can warm up and drop hot and get lost and get into lots of fights as solo. Challenge yourself. You can win a duos on your own, or how about trios? Experience the latest lore teaser on your own. So they're going to be a lore teaser, so there's going to be lore in the game where you can, I think they're adding it in within the gameplay now, a bit like what they did with Horizon, where you could find the messages all around the map, and then you can get to an old apartment and get a message from her son from last season. Spoiler alert. So that's really interesting to do, and you can explore the map and experiment with different characters that normally get picked. So if you're always playing trios and someone always nicks Wraith from you and you've never played her because she's one of the highest picked players, or all the other legends that are now very popular, if you never get a chance or they keep getting stole from you, play solo, you're guaranteed to get it. Anyway, moving on. The last part of this will be just checking out the event, the Chaos Fury event, all these cool skins. So you get some weapon charms, like 4 different weapon charms. You get some trackers, which will be unique trackers. I'm presuming this is going to be a Caustic one. You get a cool Horizon skin. There's an EV8 skin, which looks quite sleek. And there's a cool Kraber legendary skin. So these are legendary skins. They're all free, which is great. So they're adding some free loot to the event as well. It's not just you have to buy packs to get the skins unlocked, but then you've got all these cool skins. Not a fan of the Gibby one, really. It's different. That's quite cool. Roman Centurion style Loba. Pathfinder's one is pretty cool, and then that's a really nice Mastiff one. Spitfire's okay. Revenant's one's very different. That's a real cool skin. Look at Pathfinders. I kind of want that. Given that a kind of Egyptian theme with this event. Very much so. That's what they're going for. And then you got Bangalore's legendary, what's it called? Pilot knife. So some cool animations. That's cool. She's been one of the longest. Well, it's like she was my main when I first come on the game. So, and a lot of people like her. So it's good that they're adding that to the game. After the event ends, the Bangalore heirloom will become available via heirloom crafting. A few nitty-gritty details on the collection event will work. First, the crafting costs for skins are returning to regular pricing now the anniversary collection event has ended. Second, each event pack will come with one event item and 2 non-event items at the following drop rates. I don't know if that's improved or not. I can't ever remember what the percentages are normally, but that's not bad. So, patch notes quickly. Really, some good and bad things. Caustic's been nerfed. Caustic is brutally effective at slowing down engagements. The entirety of his kit involves around gas of a large area, effects, slow vision obstruction, and direct health damage. It's proved to be too oppressive to many scenarios, especially considering teammates can play in gas relatively unimpaired, significantly reducing gas damage without taking it away completely or having it affect armor instead. Seems like a fair compromise that stays true to the character while making him less oppressive on the receiving end. We'll be monitoring the data and gameplay closely. If these changes hit Caustic's appeal effectiveness too hard, we will revisit accordingly. So they've changed his ultimate from 2.5 to 3.5 minutes, but you can use accelerants to get past that quicker. 5 HP per tick instead of 6 HP to 12. So they did buff it before his gas. Now they've knocked it back down again. But now his teammates can play within it. If you've got a good teammate as a Caustic, he's still an effective player. One really good one, they've removed low profile for Pathfinder, even though he is a very good mobility character. It's very mobile. His hitbox is still large, so they couldn't warrant him being low profile, which meant he got increased damage once he did get hit. Gibby's got removed 15% faster heal item usage while in Doma protection, so you don't get faster use in that. I presume that's just to make the heat shield a bit more significant. Increased black hole cooldown from 2 to 3 minutes. That is used very regularly, so I do like that with Horizon. It shouldn't be spammed as much. It should be used in certain scenarios where people use it in every single fight. Revenant's Silence now disables Mirage's Cloaked Revive and Respawn, as well as Octane's Swift Mend. So that's pretty good. Revenant's a bit more usable. He can stop Octane healing, and he can stop Mirage trying to disappear. Watson now has a passive shield regen. Now this is really got a big changer, especially for the rank leagues. She's now going to heal. She's going to heal her shields half the rate Octane heals his health, but 0.5 health per second, quite a bit. You're going to see it start creeping up quite a lot, and that's without even her ultimate up. So that's quite handy, especially when you're like short on heals. She can just like not camp. You can just wait, and she can use a passive regen. So you can kind of her and Octane together. You're pretty much not going to need shields or health for one or the other, and you can share it out to your other teammate, use them a bit better. Explosive damage, so you used to be able to just destroy her shield straight away with Fusey, and also her Sheila. You used to do 200 instant damage and 175 damage to Sheila. It's just normal grenade damage now with his tactical and with grenades thrown at her cover to give her a bit more of a being able to reinforce an area a bit easier. Walls should be beefy and powerful once built. Before Rampart ship, we were worried that a nest would be too oppressive, so we gave enemy players the option to quickly clear them out with grenades. This wasn't necessary, as it turns out, so we're removing the increased damage from grenades against amped cover and Sheila, so that should help her out. Really improved. This has been since they added gold weapons. All gold AR and LMG default optics updated to 2 times bruiser, and I'm pretty sure you can now change the scope. Pretty sure in this event. They haven't updated it, but I've heard people say about this. Pellet damage has been nerfed in the Mastiff, but its fire rate is increased, so they're trying to balance it between the Peacekeeper and the EV8. That 13 down to 11 per pellet is going to be a huge changer, and it should stop people getting too pumped as they call. So it should make Mastiffs less OP. We'll see what happens. Wingman's been a little buff, just 1 extra bullet per magazine even at base, and Hemlock's been nerfed, increased hip fire spread, so when you're just like spraying from the hip, just spraying people, it's going to be just spraying a bit, basically a wider spread to stop you getting all your shots on target. Kings Canyon loot, we've done a pass on the loot to bring up the quality across the map, so they're improving the loot basically. Locked weapon optic swapping. The guns with fully locked attachment slots, like fully kitted gold weapons, they do highlight it, and most crate weapons, you can now remove the optic and replace it with a different sight. Perfect, because that's half the time I don't pick a gold weapon up because I don't like the optic on it. I don't like the 1 to 2. I'd prefer 2 times. This does not apply to the Kraber. So the Kraber is the only thing that's obviously going to keep its default sniper because it's got its own scope, but everything else is you can now change the scopes on it, which is great. Assists have been added to the in-game hub next to kills. Is already present in ranked and now has been added to unranked. Assists still don't contribute to XP. This has replaced the spectator eye icon. Assists and knocks have been added to your squad's banners and will show at the end of the match. Club names now appear on match summary. So assists and knocks are quite good to find out what they've done at the end of the match. So you can say, look, I got like 10 knocks that match. I only got 2 kills, but look, I knocked 10 people. You can see a bit more representation. That's a long time coming. Items will no longer stick to the crafting replica, okay, so they'll fall off, not sit on that. Badge progression as well, so you can see how far you're getting across to unlock a badge fully. That's quite cool. You can ping a death box as well. And when you res people with a gold backpack now, you can actually see what shield they get resed of. So it's got like a purple crack. You're like, okay, I need to first him because he's going to have purple shields when he res. You get all half purple, half health. you get an increased heal from the gold backpack, so that's quite cool. Players on PC can now go back to the title screen from lobby to allow switching of data centers without restarting the game. Perfect. Add numbers to the advanced look controls. When scanning a beacon for Ringfire 6, you should now be able to see the location where Rick 6 finishes. Okay, so instead of it telling you just like there's no more circles, it will show you where the line's going to finish on the final circle. And then there's just loads of bug fixes. So very interesting. I'm really excited for that. But that is everything covered. That is out next Tuesday. But hopefully you're excited. We're going to get some games in now. But thank you for watching that part. I know I rambled on a lot, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it broke down quite a bit. We're going to be getting some action in.